This video is going to go into the post-production of drones and how to make your footage a lot more professional and stand out. Even if you've shot on a kind of cheaper drone such as a Mavic Mini or a first generation Mavic Air which shoots in 8-bit, you can actually do quite a lot to your footage to make it better and improve it. When you first import your clips into your editing software, you might notice that they're quite choppy. This is due to the H.264 or H.265 codec. It's a very compressed codec which can be very CPU intensive. To fix this problem, you highlight your clips, go to Proxy, then click Create Proxies. The best option I found is to use QuickTime and then select the various options here. I choose Medium usually. And this will then go into Adobe Media Encoder and create the proxies for you. If you were editing in Davinci Resolve on the other hand, I think the process is a bit simpler. You just literally click on the clip and then click Generate Optimize Media, and that's all you've got to do. It doesn't open Media Encoder, it will do the process in the application for you. Once the proxies have created, you'll be able to see that the drone footage plays a lot more smoothly, which makes it a lot easier to edit. One tip to make drone footage look more cinematic is to use speed ramps. For example, this clip here, it uses a speed ramp. Making this effect is fairly straightforward. You just make in and out points of all the points where you want the speed ramp to start and stop, and from there you speed up the portion of footage that you want to speed up. And yeah, it's just as simple as that really. Shooting in log can lead to a lot of possibilities for colour grading and manipulating your footage. This is one example here of some drone footage shot on the Mavic Pro 2, shot in log. As you can see here, just by applying these 3 different nodes. The first node we've applied to the sky to isolate the sky and make those individual adjustments to increase the contrast and the saturation of the sky. In the next node we've upped the brightness of all the shadows in the buildings and houses, and in the final node we've applied some saturation to that. One of the consequences of this is you can introduce quite a bit of noise to your image just because you brighten it up quite a bit. In a lot of cases, especially with 8-bit footage, this noise can be not very good. But one way to fix that is by using the denoising tools in Davinci Resolve, just by hovering over to this section here, the motion effects section. This can work particularly well with 8-bit footage as well. It can be a bit of a hassle if you're editing Adobe Premiere Pro because you have to export your clips and then bring them into Davinci Resolve because there's no built-in denoiser in Premiere Pro at the time of this recording. In this next part of the tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do a sky replacement in Adobe Premiere Pro. Adobe Premiere Pro can actually be used to do sky replacements, even though a lot of people think you need to use After Effects. After Effects has to be used when motion tracking is needed. If it's a very complex sky replacement where the foreground and background and sky are kind of spinning, then definitely After Effects is needed for that. But if it's just a simple up and down movement, you can just add keyframes in and that can serve the purpose. So this is the finished image. One thing that will make it a bit better is by going into Davinci Resolve and applying the denoise effect just to clean it up a bit, but we can see how the production value has been up just from the initial shot here. So now I'm going to go into all the things I've done to the shot to make it look like that. So basically all we did were we picked an initial shot which I already took, and then we created a simple mask. As you can see here, we masked around the image so we can isolate the sky. Then when we masked around the sky, we used the feather. When it was masked, we then did initial colour correction to the sky to kind of brighten it up a little bit. By looking at the position of the sky, we can see that the image is moving down, but the sky is kind of staying the same. So to fix this, we'll apply some keyframes. So if we just put that up to about there. And yeah, it looks quite good now. Just to show another example of this, this was from a commercial that I did some drone work on, and I replaced the sky on this shot, and as you can see here, it just makes a massive difference to the production quality of the shot. You can actually do quite a lot in Photoshop to enhance raw images. This is an example of a drone shot which I took, and I'm going to show you quickly how I enhanced it and made it a lot better. The main thing to start off with is isolating the sky. So if you look here, if we go to the camera raw tool and we get the brush out, and actually we select the brush, as you notice I'm highlighting the sky and emphasising the sky. If we add some contrast there, and we bump up the saturation. We can do the same thing actually in Camera Raw. We can select the shadows. The shadows are the main thing we're wanting to boost. As well as this, we're just going to up the whites. Up the saturation. If you're wanting to add extra emphasis to things like roads, if you go to the adjustment brush tool and you up the temperature a bit, and then Control plus to zoom in, and then H for the hand tool to kind of move around. If you just select the adjustment brush, you can just add those little bits of orange just in the image to isolate the roads, and just add that little bit of extra life to the image to make it a bit nicer. But yeah, I'm just going to show the final image now. Thanks for watching this video. Annotated here are some other drone related videos, and definitely consider subscribing if you like more of this sort of content in the future.